And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP. Always a pleasure to have you here on the program, Tim. And this may be one of the busiest weekends for all of us procrastinators out there. I've read articles, the exact numbers differ a little bit, but it's stated that somewhere, depending on the article, between 25 to 33% of men in particular wait until Christmas Eve to start their Christmas shopping. Tim, is this a surprise to you?
No, it's not. That's fair. A lot of my friends are running around today, I'm sure. And that's, unfortunate because, with Amazon and all that stuff, you can do it from the comfort of your home and look like a hero still the same without sweating it like that. And, which kind of brings me to another thing that a lot of people procrastinate on. And that's, getting a hold of their finances and having a plan.
Yeah, the click and ship does make it a lot easier for the holiday shopping. Unfortunately, we can't click and ship a optimized financial and retirement future, Tim. We can't just click a couple buttons and have our hopes and dreams for our financial future easily delivered to our doorstep. So I know that this is a busy weekend, and unfortunately, many of us do have those same qualities of procrastination with our financial well-being as we do with the holiday shopping. So let's talk a little bit about the psychology of procrastination, how damaging it can be, and let's stop procrastinating, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the momentum going, stop the inertia, and just get the ball rolling and something started with your financial progress. Because after all, what better gift could you give than the sense of financial progress, accomplishment, and well-being to yourself, to your spouse, to your loved ones and family? And that's why Tim Stearns is here each and every week, reminding us of how important this is, and then the proactive steps that you can take and the strategies that you should be implementing in order to improve your financial outlook. If you've got questions, if you would like that complimentary review, that retirement planning strategy session, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, just to sweeten the pot a little bit here for our Christmas Eve weekend edition of the program, you've got a very special gift, your new book, the book about solving the modern retirement riddle. And I think that the fact that we have so many unknowns with our finances is one of the chief reasons for procrastination. We don't act on things that we're not sure about, but your book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, really talks about many of these subjects that have confounded and confused even today's proactive savers and investors.
Well, the book deals with everything that is encompassing a modern retirement. The days of your grandfather and grandmother working for a company for so many years and getting their pension and, having 401ks and just having, things kind of situated for them is gone. Nowadays it's kind of a do-it-yourselfer situation. The government introduced these 401ks to many of the baby boomers that listen to our show. And, they're kind of on their own to get through it. I just met with a woman the other day who realized that she has a pension coming from her ex-husband. It's procrastination and not wanting to know the unknown that gives you anxiety, yet you don't want to meet with someone to get through that. I know she was really happy when she realized that she wasn't in fact getting a payout from the divorce, but in fact receiving a pension that she can't outlive. That's a great thing to do, but uncovering these things is part of the job here, and getting through it and having those tough conversations so that your family is situated and you understand exactly where you stand.
We certainly can better face even those tough conversations with a little bit of knowledge and understanding of what the problem is, what the potential solutions are, and all of those are discussed in Tim's book, ladies and gentlemen, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle by Tim Stearns, CFP. If you would like to get this book in your hands, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. That call alone can be the impetus, the spark, that starts to build the momentum, or even if you're already moving along, that makes sure that you are doing the right thing and moving in the right direction. So this program today, this show where we talk about procrastination and the damage that it can do, it's not a guilt trip. It is a proactive reminder that some things are too important to wait until later. And Tim, we all tend to have that sense that we can take care of that one day or someday. And that is really a very damaging thought process. It's a behavioral pattern, really, because then tomorrow gets here and we're like, well, there's always another tomorrow, right? And that is a very damaging thing for the financial future that we deserve and that we should be building for ourselves.
Well, I would tell you that procrastination is the number one roadblock to financial security. Most people don't have a plan. They're hoping for the best and they're going to do it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes, type of thing. So now we need to figure out how to figure out what your guaranteed sources are, what your bills are in retirement, and how you're going to fill that income gap. That's how simple it is. But most people don't want to take the time, and they just try to ballpark figures in that. I had a gentleman in here the other day who met with a person, advisor with 40 years experience, and he had laid out basically a proposal that he couldn't explain, that he didn't really understand the nuances of it, and then I got frustrated when the client was asking questions. Needless to say, he signed up with us because our reports are very easy to use and very easy to understand. And the bottom line is you want to know, where are you going to be in 20, 25, 30 years? And of course, if you're married, same goes for your spouse. So how do you uncover what needs to be done? You get in here and you do a plan. Think about a 3-minute phone call today just to get on our books, and we'll be open in between Christmas and New Year's Day, because I know a lot of people have time off and then they find they want to take care of some of these important things. Give us a call.
Again, that's 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256 to make sure that you are doing all of the things, ladies and gentlemen, that are a wonderful gift to yourself, to your spouse, families, and loved ones, the gift of a better, improved, and confident financial future, or even just starting by answering and solving some of the modern retirement riddles with Tim Stern's newest book. Give a call to request that, get a copy of that in your hands, or to set up a time to have these discussions with Tim Stearns and get the Protect and Grow, the written retirement income plan in your hands. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Tim, it's like after all of those tomorrows, well, I'll handle it tomorrow, I'll handle it one day, I'll handle it tomorrow. All of a sudden, we wake up and then the frame of mind changes and suddenly, well, it's too late to do anything about it now. That is also not a true statement. No matter where we're at, there's always the opportunity to do a little bit better for our financial future. And admittedly, most listeners to this program, most of your clients have already been doing good things proactively. But to procrastinate on any of the discussion, any of the topics, any of the subjects on today's program could potentially be damaging. Obviously, with everything, it's better to start early than never. But if you have not done anything about it, starting today or getting on a better track today, the time value chart of money, that alone will speak volumes to getting started early. But there are other topics, and we are going to talk about them today. One of the chief ones being, Tim, life insurance, right? Everybody feels like they're invincible. Nobody wants to have life insurance on the days that they live through, but it is one of the most valuable pieces of a complete, comprehensive financial plan.
Yes, life insurance, most people think, well, the kids are growing, the mortgage is nearly paid off. If something happened to me, my spouse doesn't have to downsize. She can still make the payments on the little mortgage that's left. But I will say this, what I've noticed is people don't know about the Secure Act, which most of us have IRA money and 401ks. Those accounts will have to be drained within 10 years if something happens to both you and your spouse. There's a huge tax bill. The estate tax is going to sunset or expire at the end of 2025. And many politicians have talked about moving it down from 5 million down to 3 million. And I've even heard as low as $1 million.
Yep.
So I ask you, if you're out there and you wonder if you are going to have an estate tax because of those numbers I just told you, or if you know that you have a lot of qualified money, 401ks, they're going to leave a big, taxable bill to your family, life insurance might be a solve there. Also, many of the life insurance policies now come with chronic care or long-term care. Full disclosure, my wife and I own policies like this, where if I can't do two of my activities of daily living, then I'm able to pull down from my death benefit for my care. So life insurance is not just for the young when you're raising a family. Permanent life insurance, I like that as another tool to solve some of these questions that I have about what am I going to be owing in taxes, and what's my family going to owe in taxes as well.
Yeah. And Tim, these are things that, again, nobody ever wants to think about. Nobody wants to believe that it could happen to them, but then it does. And you can't go out and get auto insurance after you have an accident. You can't go out and get homeowners insurance after there's a flood or fire or what have you. And the same is true here. Your young age, your good health are your best assets for whatever type of insurance is appropriate to get it at the most affordable price and to get the greatest value out of it. And you mentioned there that this is also, it is a place where you can have a double play of sorts. You can multi-purpose, because there's a burning question, the 800-pound gorilla in the room of how do we address and handle long-term care expenses. Life insurance can be a potential solution for that as well. And I think that is a valuable aspect of having this conversation early.
Well, 7 out of 10 Americans are going to need long-term care, and 9 out of 10 have not addressed that 800-pound gorilla. So it's definitely something worth exploring. Next up, I would talk to people about out there that they don't have their estate planning done correctly, or they haven't done any of it. We met with a gentleman the other day who's recently widowed, and he said, "Hey, do you think I should get a will, a trust?" This is, yes, absolutely. It's a no-brainer to have your affairs in order, or you could leave it to the state of Illinois, our court system's probate, to decide what your future looks like for your family. And he laughed. He said, "Oh my gosh, no." So, those are things. We have an estate attorney here that can help with those items. So those are a couple things: life insurance, and definitely looking at your estate plan and making sure it's done correctly, because a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about what that looks like.
Right. As the procrastinators of the world celebrate this weekend out with the hustle and bustle, think about the damage that could be done if you procrastinate on these important topics. If you, again, not to harp, not to guilt trip, just a friendly reminder here, any mature, responsible adult over the age of 18 should have those documents in place, especially if you do have a spouse, children, debts, a mortgage, and income that somebody depends on. The legal documents, the beneficiaries listed on your accounts are essential to keep updated. Having that life insurance in place, nobody wants to think about it, but it could be so valuable to those that you care so much about. So what better gift? This is something that you should be addressing. And again, it can start with a phone call right now to get the ball rolling on it. Tim Stearns, CFP, and TJ Stearns, Inc., 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. You can be addressing this or have it addressed moving into 2024. So again, give a call now, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, for the question of life insurance and or long-term care, I have also heard the comment from some who are more affluent or high net worth that I am self-insured. And fantastic. What a confident statement to be able to say. However, I've thought about it in terms that I can relate to. If I've got a $500,000 house, I don't stick $500,000 in the bank and then say, I don't need homeowners insurance. I'm self-insured, because for a fraction of that amount of money, just a portion of what that money earns me in interest per year, I can pay to leverage and protect the money that is giving me that sense of financial confidence. And I think that is maybe missed or overlooked because of our aversion to paying for life insurance or long-term care is that we can protect the money that is giving us the sense of financial confidence to be able to provide that confidence to our family, because otherwise it is the money itself that is providing that protection and that would be drained down.
Well, you're talking about transferring risk, and I'm all about that. I don't know anyone who enjoys using insurance, right? But and knowing the peace of mind that if God forbid I cannot cognitively do my life throughout the day where I'm confused and that type of thing, and my wife needs help with that, or if I'm physically disabled, to know that I have that in my back pocket so that I'm not a burden on my family, I think is huge. And I think it's definitely worth exploring. Plus, as we stated, it can help with estate planning down the road too. But at the end of the day is that let's draw out for a second, let's look at the big picture. Do you have a plan, or do you have bits and pieces here and there and everywhere? I just met with a gentleman that who had 8 different money managers, all the big names, and he had his oars going every which way, meaning there's no synergies at all. So collecting these things and kind of funneling it down so that his wife, who's not in that business world, she's retired, she didn't know they had half of the things that we uncovered. It was another thing where it was peace of mind. So drawing out the fact that you need to have a plan is so huge. Not so much for yourself. If you understand it, that's excellent. But, if God forbid something happens to you, what's the next step for your spouse?
Again, thinking these things through proactively can save a lot of heartache, get a more optimal future, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, how many of us are out there in the hustle and bustle today, but we could have had a better holiday, could have bought a better gift, could have saved a little bit of money, could have made somebody a little happier. Now think of that in the sense of your total financial future and well-being. These conversations are absolutely worth every bit of time and attention, and where there is a cost, the money obviously and oftentimes is well worth it as well. Give a call, be proactive. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, I have heard many horror stories of infighting, of families, disputes, of very costly court processes and fights about estates that are left behind. Yes, there's a cost. Yes, there's some time up front, but generally that is a minute amount of cost and time compared to if we have not addressed those things on the back end. It is an investment that saves time and money in the long term.
Right. You need to make sure that you have your wishes on paper, execute it with an attorney properly. That dictates exactly how you want things to go. Yes, I've seen money tear apart families. 29 years on the job, I've seen a lot of that. Which that's from people not taking care of things ahead of time. Speaking of ahead of time, what's about to come up after January 1st? With every accountant in the world, it's tax season, right?
Maybe the second area that all of us tend to procrastinate, right, Tim?
Absolutely. And think about this. At the end of this year, we only have 2 more years under the current tax bill that will expire at the end of 2025. And at that point, taxes are going to reset to where they were before the Trump tax bill. So taxes are the lowest they've been since the 1920s, and I want to tell people out there, if you're thinking of doing Roth conversions, now is the time. Give us a call and we can get together on that and make sure that we understand what that is, because taxes are only going to go up. We ask that in all of our retirement classes. I've never had one student say that it's going to go down. So we're in agreement, regardless of party. Whether you're liberal or conservative, it doesn't matter. You agree with me that taxes are going up. So why wouldn't we address that elephant in the room?
Again, if you would like to get a jump on it, make sure that you do, ladies and gentlemen. Give a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, you actually have some very eye-opening reports that you can run showing people the cost of procrastination, because it's not just the filing of taxes here, which we all seem to tend to want to delay on. Well, some of us are very proactive on it, trying to do it very early. And kudos to them. But at the same time, I think we can all agree that tax day is one of the celebrations, a de facto holiday for procrastinators across the country. However, it's not just the filing year to year. It is the system itself that is built on the premise of deferral, of delaying, of procrastinating paying those taxes. That also has a significant cost. And up until this point, many of us have not realized the significance of that cost. And we have gone and done what we've been told to do: wait and defer and delay and procrastinate paying those taxes. But your software, the programs that you run, you can show savers and investors who have that retirement nest egg what the cost of continued deferral is going to be compared with what they can do proactively to control and minimize, and in some cases eliminate some of that tax.
Right. You need to be proactive in tax planning. Most people do their tax returns after the fact, and they don't think about things like tax mitigation, fixing this problem that you have. One of the things that we talked about at the Freedom Convention for Wind about a month ago was that, we had a flyer out there that said, are you creating a tax time bomb in your portfolio? And most of us have, because we want to defer the taxes, right? We also want the match from our company. And at the end of the day, we've built up a nice nest egg, right? Which is great. Well, if you're winding that down and you're not making the type of money you used to make, or you're in retirement, now is the time to look at that Roth conversion opportunity. I say that 2024 and 2025 are the end of that for quite a while, because we don't know what taxes are going to look like, but we do know what they are now, and we can quantify that.
Again, seeing that side by side, ladies and gentlemen, it is eye-opening. And oftentimes, by being proactive, taking advantage of the tax code as it is today, rather than waiting till it potentially changes and it increases into the future, which is already law on the books as things stand. That's not a maybe. That is, as things stand right now, unless something changes, taxes will be going up. So looking at how you can control that today, it is a cost saving and definitely worth a look. Don't procrastinate on that one. So give a call to Tim Stearns, have him run the numbers, the scenarios. You can talk over your anticipated rate of income and tax rate and expected rate of return, what's acceptable. There are a lot of variables that can be changed and customized in that equation. But bottom line, side by side, what's the tax bill likely to be? How low can I get it? That is oftentimes a significant savings. So pick up the phone, give him a call, and they can walk you through not only the calculator, but how to execute on those strategies. You do want to have the help of an experienced, qualified professional there. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Because after all, Tim, those tax deferred accounts are in fact a debt to the IRS. And I'm going to make a loose segue here, but debt is another symptom of the problem of procrastination. And during the holidays, we all tend to maybe overspend a little too much. We rack up debt unnecessarily. That has really now been made much more costly than ever. Debt is costing us significantly more today than it has really ever before. And the longer we wait to address that, the worse the situation gets.
Well, and that's another area that makes sure that you take care of. Debt is a systemic issue. It's easy to say, I want it now, but I'll pay for it later. But at the end of the day, you want to look at the fact that if you are retiring and you have debt right now, you need to get that paid off, because how hard is that going to be paid off while you're in retirement and you're just being a net seller of your assets that are in your 401k? So really get on a systematic pay down of that. And that's another thing we can help people look at. Where do we get the money for that? Do you take it from a 401k just to have peace of mind as you go into retirement? Speaking of peace of mind, the other thing I want to reach out to everybody about is the market has given you a gift. All right. In 2022, the market was down across the board. Bonds on average were down 13%. The best index, which was the S&P 500, was only down 18%. Okay. NASDAQ was down almost 32%. So it's giving you a gift. What is that gift? Well, it's Christmas. They gave you back your returns, right? Your money is about where you were at the beginning of 2022. That's what I hear from everyone who's calling into this show, my retirement classes, et cetera. So the gift is take off some of the pressure off of yourself and get into the more conservative portfolios that have stop losses, that have, covered calls and puts, things that are going to be a safety measure. My father always said, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. You are at that level now. If you're a baby boomer out there, you need to keep the money that you've made and not have these wild swings that we've seen in the markets. So your gift is that you're back to where you were. Do something about it. Don't procrastinate.
Yep. And Tim, really all that boils down to forming the plan, formulating the plan, executing the plan. Many of us have reasonable tools, decent tools, great tools for our financial progress, the 401ks, the IRAs, the Roths, the investments and brokerage accounts. Those are tools, just like a hammer and a drill are a tool. But you often give the analogy that if we were building a house and somebody came with just a hammer and a drill and said, I've got the right tools for the job, hire me to build your house, that probably wouldn't be the person ultimately that you hire without a plan, without a blueprint. And we need to see the total picture. We need to bring all of these tools and pieces together and understand how and where they are to be utilized. And the plan will really help to direct and dictate that.
Agreed. And, part of that is, understanding what needs to get done. And I want to make sure that people understand that we have retirement classes that you can Zoom from the comfort of your home. In late January, we'll be doing those again. And then February, March, we can do them throughout the year. Give us a call. We'll get you on the calendar. You can come in person if you'd like. We teach all over the Chicagoland area, Oakton, Harper, Roosevelt College, North Central. We're very easy to get to places for you, or you can Zoom from your house. But at the end of the day, we'll be happy to teach you about what retirement looks like and how to get ahead of it.
Well, again, for many of us, we are hustling around, stressed and settling for good enough because maybe we have procrastinated for too many of us in our holiday shopping. But Tim, if we are also procrastinating in the areas of the financial planning, think about the impact that just a little bit more forethought could have had on the holidays. Could we have bought better gifts? Could we have saved money? Could we have made somebody happier? Now, all of those things also translate directly to our long-term financial progress, except they're exponential. They are a much greater impact. So now's the time to act. Get the ball rolling. Stop the inertia. Get that momentum moving, ladies and gentlemen. It just starts with a phone call. It's going to take 2 or 3 minutes right now to be in better shape, to be moving forward, to improving your financial outlook, or just double checking that you're on the right path into the new year. The number to call, and to sweeten the deal, the book that's available if you do, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, is available by calling 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. You can also always visit online, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. And I do see the gift of giving for the Ann and Robert Lurie Children's Hospital. Tim, right there is the banner on your website. You guys do a lot of very, very charitable work trying to raise some funds there as well, right?
Yes. And, anyone who brings in those, we're matching whatever they donate to get some presents to these kids that are going through a lot. It's just something to give back to the community.
It's a fantastic cause. But again, ladies and gentlemen, you can find out more by visiting the website, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com, or give a call now to get that plan in motion. Get your written Protect and Grow retirement income plan, bringing all of the pieces of the picture together. And just for calling today, a copy of Tim's book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, discussing many of the challenges and problems that keep us confused and procrastinating more than we should on making that financial progress, addressing them, showing you the path forward. Again, the number to reach Tim Stearns, CFP, and the team from TJ Stearns, Inc., 800-640-2256. Tim, always a pleasure having you here on the program.
Thanks, Peter.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.